So if you are a data marketplace, if you are building a data marketplace, if you have a data platform, you can use our technologies to monitoring and auditing all these things. So I'm going to focus, and of course some horizontal services such as the legal evaluation and monitoring of all these technologies. I'm going to focus on these three plugins, as we call them, in this talk. And this is the place in the data lifecycle that I'm going to talk about today. Okay. So let's start from a scenario where a data provider wants to sell some data, right? And you have the data consumer on the right, and the data provider has some concerns, some terms, some conditions, right? It has some privacy concerns. What do they do right now? They try to do some kind of security approach, encryption, anonymization, and so on. Okay. Then at some point you have to release the data, right? You have to give away your email to the consumer, and you have to tell them, on my email I have additional privacy constraints. I cannot encrypt it because you have to use it for notifying for my purchase, but do not use it for advertisement. How do I tell them that, right? I put it in a natural language document. So all privacy concerns that we have for data that we are releasing, that we are selling, goes into a natural language text. Legislation is in natural language, right? The contract that we agree with the other, with the data consumer is in natural language, right? So UPCAST comes here, in this particular, we do a number of technologies, but in this particular problem, we are going to offer through the privacy plugin simply a massive processable language for modeling your privacy policies, right? There are many out there, but we are trying to do it in an intuitive and useful and interoperable way. We are, of course, building on existing standards, such as the ODRL, which is an immature approach to multi-privacy languages, right? And you can say things like permissions, prohibitions, obligations, right? And if you want to talk about a specific domain, you can parameterize your language with certain vocabularies, like the data privacy vocabulary or a data space vocabulary. If you want to build a prohibition rule for manufacturing, you import the manufacturing vocabulary. So, okay, on one side, the privacy plugin allows you to do that, right? On the other side, we have a data processing workflow plugin that allows the consumer to write down the data processing workflow in some kind of form or abstraction that they intend to run when they obtain the data. That's their intention, right? That's what they aim to do with the data. And this is also in the massive processable language, also uses the same vocabularies and the same standards, right? Okay, so what is left now? It's left for the privacy plugin to compare the two, right? So when you publish your data set on a data catalog, you attach your privacy and usage policy with it, right? When you obtain a data set, you can use the plugin to see if that matches or violates, if your intention of usage violates the privacy policy. Okay, so if it does, what do you do next? This is where the negotiation plugin comes in, right? You negotiate. We don't just negotiate on the usage constraints, so store my data for this purpose for this long, and I will pay you to, I will store your data for 20 days for the purpose of research, and then I will delete it and you have to pay me $20, right? We also negotiate on environmental aspects, and I will use it in a data processing workflow on this kind of cloud environment that has this kind of CO2 footprint, right? So any dimension that you might have in this partnership is up to negotiation.